Welcome everybody to this edition of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, with my other host, Damon Armstrong and Jaquari Armstrong. We have special guests tonight, Veronica Lewis, Monica Crawford, Tina Johnson, Janean Smith, who will be joining us later, and of course, you know my brother. He's coming through. He's the diva of the group, so he'll be through. But today, this is the woman's version of what we do. Because me and my brothers, we've grown up around strong women all our lives, right? And we've grown up around weak women too. Saying I can probably say that for our guest also, as far as men is concerned. But the folks that we invited on, I definitely wanted to hear how they saw their perspective on life, their travels, community, everything that we can possibly touch tonight. What I want to do is do my segment, Big Dog Logic, and then we're going to introduce everyone. Okay? What I usually do is throughout my day with because see, this is one of three segments that we do. I have the first part of it. Damon has the end, and Jaquari has halftime. So what I usually do for Big Dog Logic is speak on the things that I see every day, how I see them, just my own point of view. Even if you don't agree, that's my logic. But because this is Black History Month, even though we live Black history every day. Every day that you live in Black history. But as I said, what I want to do is do something a little different. I am a outgoing introvert, meaning I don't have a problem with standing in front of a crowd, but if I don't feel it, I won't do it. Okay? So this is what I'm going to do. And this is for women. Every time I hear this song, I think about our Black sisters. I think about women, their journey. All right? This is my own personal thing. This is the lyrics from Wildflower.
You didn't break out the Wildflower, did you, bro?
Only 2 lines. She's faced the hardest times you could imagine. You know what? I'm going to stop right there. That's enough for me. Because that first line, because everybody know what Wildflower is about, but that first line has always hit me in the right way. It is my mothers, my aunts, my grandmothers, my grandmothers, their plight. Meaning standing beside their man, supporting their man, men supporting them, men standing beside them. That first line gets me. All right, now. I was going to go through the whole joint. I said, you know what? No, hell no. I like that right there. I'm going to leave it right there. So, welcome, Veronica. How are you doing today, young lady?
I'm well, thank you.
Okay, you want to tell our audience about a little bit about yourself?
My name is Veronica. I reside in North Carolina. I work for prison administration. I've been with the department for 22 years. I'm single mother of 2 children.
Okay. Anything colorful you want to let us know? I mean, that's strong, and I get that, but talk about yourself.
I would say to an extent I'm an introvert, but at the same time, I like to go out. I like to mostly mingle with family, close friends. If um if I'm not invited, I'm not disappointed as well to the party. So, but yeah, for the most part, I'm mostly about family and kind of to myself.
Sorry about that. All right. Well, look, I want everybody to know that Veronica and Monica are sisters, and I'm so curious to see what the Monica side has to say. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Um, um, my name is Monica. I reside in North Carolina as well. I am married with three sons, and I also have two grandsons that I am over here spoiling rotten. I don't care who cares, but I will spoil them rotten. I am in the field of dentistry. I manage dental offices. I've been in this industry close to 28 years. Been at this particular office that I've been managing for 23, and I love what I do.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay. Anything you want to throw any other little bit of color in there?
Well, just like my sister said, we're all about family. We're always having gatherings, whether it's on a holiday or just because we want to celebrate something or nothing, we get together. So family is very important. Now, my husband and I do go out often. We're not old. We're older compared to our children. We're old, but we're not gonna sit in the house in no rocking chair. Not yet.
Okay. 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 Cool. All right. Now this next person. This is our cousin, but really she's our sister. And I can speak for my brother and say we love her very much.
What's up, baby?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Tell us
Hello, I
about,
am
tell
I'm
us about
Tina.
yourself, Tina.
Okay, I'm Tina and I reside in Detroit. And I've actually was we all grew up in a little town called Ypsilanti, but I have moved maybe in the suburbs of Detroit, and I've been out here maybe about 20 years now. And when you guys talk about family, that's one of the things that I miss by being even just 15, 20 minutes up the road, not being able to see the family as much as I like to. But I'm also family oriented. My family and I, we do things at least once a month together. And I think that's where a lot of, I've gotten a lot of my well-being from is just interacting with my family. We get together and we learn from each other. We piggyback, we support each other, and that's what I'm here for today is to support my family. Also, for them to learn a little bit about the adult Tina that they don't know because I've moved away and they moved away as well. So I'm looking forward to
Uh-oh.
this enjoyable time for us ladies to. Um, so it's for the men to hear our perspective on a lot of these topics. So yeah.
Okay.
Hey, did y'all hear our sister just put us in check right quick?
Look. Janine, welcome. Came in just in time. This is I mentioned her before. This is Janine Smith. And Janine, why don't you tell us about yourself? Let our audience know about who you are.
Um, first,
You're breaking in and out, Janine.
am I? Can you hear
Still up. Like every other word.
me? Should I step back?
Not sure. Is your earpiece bouncing, or
I don't even have an earpiece in.
That's
that
what
might
it
be the
is.
problem. I think that might be what it is. You try it now.
How about now?
Yes, indeedy.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, well, I'm sorry.
Look at
Sorry
you.
about
Look
that.
at you. Look at you. You breaking rules all day long. No, go ahead.
I'm Janine Smith, and my grandbaby just walked in. I'm sorry, y'all. She totally caught me off surprise. I'm Janine Smith from Buffalo, New York. Um, I've been living down in Raleigh since '94. Um, and
Cutie
This is my
pie.
grandbaby. You came to
Yeah.
surprise me. Um, Married for 24 years. This year is our 25th wedding anniversary, and
Cool.
um,
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. Um, and I'm just really happy to be here. I'm sorry, she that kind of
Oh
threw me
no,
off because
you good. You good. You good.
I ain't seen her in a minute. So yes, I did. But when it's your grandbaby, get even more excited. So,
Mhm.
Okay.
but
Okay.
I'm happy to be here. I'm sorry. I'm ready, y'all. Let's go.
Welcome to everybody. Okay. Um. So what we'll do is letting everybody know that night before, last night, we talked over. We went over the questions with everybody that's with us today. But what I'm going to do is not do it in order, but do it in the order of energy. So the first question I'm going to ask, since you were the last to talk, Janine, is going to be on you,
Okay.
and that is, let's talk about it then. Let's talk about motherhood.
Mm.
Tell me, ladies, how you feel about motherhood? What was your idea of motherhood? And you can mash it all together in your response. As you grew up as young ladies and approaching when you decided to have a baby.
Well, well, for me, I'm a teen mom. So
Okay.
my son, and my husband, we all grew up kind of together. Um, so it was an adjustment, you know, having a baby at 18 and you're a baby yourself, but at the same token, it was a huge responsibility that I knew that, God was able to give me this blessing that no matter what, through thick and thin, I'm going to make it work. Um, One of the things, you know, being born in Buffalo, I had made the decision, when my son was like a year and a half, two, I think it was, to get put him in a better situation. Um, so for me, is motherhood is not about myself anymore. Um, it's about your children. So um, it's a blessing. It's hard, it's still hard as your kids get older. Constantly. It doesn't the worriness and you know the thought of what they're doing. It don't leave you just because they're 31 and 17. It's a as much as you pray. How the saying is, why pray and worry? But unfortunately, as mothers, that just don't stop. That's a they're just constant.
Yeah. Okay. Tina.
Well, I'd like to piggyback off her. She was also a young mother. I was early in my early 20s, raising my children, and you going into it. I don't think I ever really thought about it. We just thought about the act. We didn't think about the motherhood, the parenthood that would come after that. So it was for me. It was learn as I go,
Mhm.
and also having good role models around me and also the
Facts.
support of family was very important. And I tell people that all the time when they ask, "Oh, how did you do it?" I don't know. But knowing that I had people around me that kind of picked up the pieces that I know that I felt short on. So that was something that I try to take into even my years now, that even though I've made mistakes throughout those times, I still try to feed back on those times that got me through. And it was the support of family and just figuring it out on my own. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Veronica.
I would say when I had my daughter, because my children are 9.5 years apart. Um, I was a teen mother. I learned early on about I had to go head on and work to provide, and I didn't think about it as what's going to come about later. It was more so what I had to deal with her at the moment. So I had the support also of family, but there were things that I wanted to do different with mine that hadn't been done with me. And I wanted to make sure with her growing up that I wanted to have a different relationship with my children that I didn't have with my parents growing up. So I learned that part early on, but as time went on and different things that we had to adjust and learn. And then I had my son. So it became a little different because then you juggling work, motherhood, and kids playing sports. So
Yeah. Yeah.
over time, that's I seen where it wasn't. Of course, it wasn't about me early on, but it definitely was no longer about me. It was all about them, and even now, it's still about them.
That part.
Okay. All right, before we go to you, Monica, Janine, I left that on the screen for a reason. Now, next time it need to come out real quick. Like, anybody, did you read the screen?
No.
On the screen it says, and this is from, tell me if you know who this is from. It says, you see, she had to think about how long she's been married. So who do you think that's from?
I got it right though.
There it is. Monica is on you.
I think that for me, motherhood has been one of the most rewarding things that I've done in my life, but also kind of the scariest things because as you are raising your kids, all these different things come up as they are growing up. And just being able to sometimes, have that open communication with my children so they will talk to me. And they do talk to me. In fact, they share a lot of information with me. And I have boys. And sometimes I have to say, hold up, y'all. That's a little bit too much information for me right now. But I like the fact that they will talk to me and they do share, and I listen to them because I think, as my sister was saying, we had a great relationship with our parents, but our parents grew up in the generation where um, do as I say do. And not that our kids don't do that now, but there was no dialogue to where we could even express anything that we were feeling. It was just, you do as they told you to do. And not that our kids are, I think we're trying to listen to them and not we're just parenting different than we were parented. And it's true. I remember all three of my sons in sports. I didn't have a life. We couldn't go on vacation because on Saturdays it was Pop Warner this, Pop Warner that. We were everywhere. So I mean, motherhood. is a wonderful thing, but grandparenthood is the bomb. I'm gonna tell you, I love it. It's like I've heard that saying that if I had my grandkids first, I wouldn't have had any children. It's like a wonderful thing. I'm
Yeah.
excited when I'm ex-
it really is. It really
yes,
is.
excited when they come over. I'm happy when they leave. I have twin grandsons that are boys, and right now they're 3 and they're so active. So I'm taking a deep breath when they leave, but I can't
Yeah.
wait for them. I can't wait for them to come back. So motherhood into grandparenthood has been a wonderful thing for me.
I agree.
Mhm.
Damon Jaquari, do you have any comments?
No, I'm just listening and learning, man.
No, if I could ask you guys, just a quick question, Keith. I mean, and just I mean, answer as quickly as possible if you can, ladies. But if not, this is your platform tonight, so please indulge yourself. Okay, in regards to your significant other, was there ever a power struggle between you and his style of parenting? And if there was, did you guys clash over it, or how did you work it out?
Great question.
For myself, I would say it was a different in style of parenting. Um, yes, my children would be disciplined, but there were times I felt like, maybe he popped them too hard, but that just could have been me as a mother, like, don't whoop my baby because, those are our babies. We could discipline, but it's like they discipline a little harder. So I never I never corrected or said anything in front of the children about it if I
Oh,
felt, but it was never a clash thing. It was just, was that type of whooping, was it really needed? Did you have to whoop so hard? So,
United
but
fronts. The united fronts are very important. Very
yes.
important.
Mhm.
Who's next?
I'll go up next. Well, my situation was a little different because my kids not only had their dad, but they also had their stepdad. And, living with someone that's not their father, that was the thing that was very challenging for me, especially when it comes to the discipline. So they would go to their dad and everything would be all cool. He would do his thing. Of course, I wouldn't have much to say because that's the way that he ran his household. Then in my household, I think that dating as a single adult really, um, as a single parent, that really kind of make you look at things a little differently. So like she was saying about the protection of your child, that was the most difficult thing for me because this is someone that of course I wanted to love and love my children, but when it came to discipline, I was like, "Oh no, she didn't do it. Wasn't that bad." Or you try to justify your kids' behavior so that they'll be a little easy on it. Like, no, they ain't. So that was one of the difficult things out of dating and having someone other than their father in your life for me. So yes, that was a little struggle there, and that also caused us to not be as close. So that's one of the things that I had learned in also in just raising kids and trying to date and have your own life. So
Hey, hey, sis, it was a Freudian slip there. You said asshole.
oh, yeah.
mm,
You sure you heard
I
that?
didn't hear that. I didn't hear that.
I wasn't gonna say nothing, but yo, but great answer though. Great
Mm,
answer.
It was a great answer. Yeah.
mm,
Janine, Monica.
Well, my oldest son is not my husband is his stepfather. And so there were times when my son was younger. We got together when my son was 3. And so there were times when my husband did not want to overstep what he could or couldn't do with my oldest son. But we now say our oldest son because I would always try to involve my son's biological dad, and he's a good guy, but he was really trying to be my son's friend rather than participate in the discipline that we needed to give to my son. And so, being that he was trying to be his friend, we just kind of said, well, when we're giving him discipline, we're going to do it in our home. We can't include him because he's not really trying to be a active participant in that. And so then
Mm.
when we did that, that's when we had a better, I don't know, cohesiveness in our family. Then along comes his two brothers, and yes, my husband and I definitely disagree on discipline and how we were raising kids, but it was like my sister said, it was never in front of the kids because once they know that there's an imbalance between the mother and the dad, then they could use that to their advantage. But I have to say that I'm proud when I am not around and my kids are with other people, and then they tell me how respectful and how my kids have manners, and then they also tell me, not that I need them to, but they say you've done a good job with your kids. And so I appreciate when sometimes you're in the throes of parenthood, you feel like, did I do a good job? But when others comment about your kids and their behaviors,
Mhm.
then you feel like you've done good.
You mean?
They're my babies. Leave my babies alone. Even when they're wrong, leave them alone. And Lord knows that son of ours, he he was he taught us well how to, but but thank God now he has learned, he has grown, he has evolved and everything. But it doesn't matter. I mean, they're my babies, even if they're wrong. I mean, I'll probably be in the corner crying myself, but I know sometimes they actually did wrong and they need to be disciplined. So,
Mhm.
but those are my babies, though.
I can honestly say that me and my brothers, all three of us are mama's boy
Mm,
and proud of it. You know what I mean? But our mama was a hard human being. What I mean by hard is she was no nonsense. She was loving, but she would speak the truth. So when you have both my dad and my mom talking to us and spitting this truth at us, it wasn't it wasn't difficult to navigate ourselves throughout life. You know what I mean? So Jaquar, that was a great question. So we can actually segue into something that I wanted to ask. And
mm,
we'll turn it up just a tad bit. We're gonna do it a little slowly, ladies, but I definitely am anticipating, what you guys think. Okay. Part of the question is, what do you feel? What is your opinion about real men and women relationships out here? Your personal opinion. We're speaking from being single and dating, being married, the interaction between a man and a woman. What is your opinion about it? We'll start with you, Monica.
Oh Lord.
If you need
Um,
me, do you need me to clarify? Because I can do a little more for
yeah, clarify a little bit.
you. Okay. Okay. Now you know how social media is these days. Everybody's on there with a single dating guru, a marriage guru, and it
mm.
always seems like it's a hard line. Each thing is a hard line. There's no cooperation. So that's the kind of energy the question is coming from. Do you think it's a hard line? What do you actually think about it?
Well, I think to each his own. I mean, if with all these, I know that it is with
Monica,
date. Uh
Monica, what do you
Mhm.
huh. Okay. Personally, it's not for me. Going on these social media or going on these shows and doing all this dating, it's for, if that's your thing, that's your thing. um i'm I have said this before in conversations with other women. I kind of thank the Lord I am married and not trying to date right now, because I'll probably be single for the rest of my life. Because there is this, I mean, sometimes from the single friends that I have that are truly single, not in relationships, these guys that are approaching them aren't about anything. So you know I think it's a hard, it's hard out here. Speaking in conversation with my sister, it, it's difficult.
okay? Tina,
it, it is hard out here, being single and even dating and trying to get to know someone. You always have to just make sure that someone is putting their true self out there, and I think that's part of the problem. Everyone want to put on that facade and not really truly be who they are, and that's what you have to sift through so much, and that's what makes it so difficult. You thinking you're cool, and you and this guy is kicking it, and then you find out some things that is like, man, that was a waste. Why didn't you? So to me, it can make things a lot more easier if people were just being honest of
Honest,
what they
yeah.
want, how they want it, whatever their motives are. And I think both men and women can agree. I mean, especially at this age in life, if you can just be honest with your true feelings, and then just give that other person the opportunity to say, okay, this is what I'm going with, or just not. So it's one of those things like, dang, you want to be in the relationship, but God, do I got to keep on going through this? Do I got to keep on going through the
mm-hmm.
same? So
Mm-hmm.
Got you. Okay, okay. Janine,
Well, um, I only can speak of like if my friends, you know, right now it's really hard. And to piggyback off of what she was saying about being honest, a couple of friends that, thinking that this relationship is really going to the next level and then finding X, Y, and Z out, and then getting, she's getting to the point like, you know what, I'm done. It's just too much, so, you know, I agree. If people would be a little bit more honest in what they want, I think it wouldn't be so hard for men or women.
okay. All right. I have a question for you guys. When Veronica is on you, save the best
Um,
for last.
I would say it is difficult as you're older, dating. Of course, it's less and less um, to really choose from. Not saying that there aren't some good guys out there, but you have some men that do play games. Um, you have some people that just choose to, I guess, because they've been single for so long. You have some people that just choose not to really truly do relationships, but they want, I would say, maybe a companion, or, the term FWB, or what, yeah.
Okay.
So you have a lot of that going on. They like to say it's not that, but that is some of what's going on. And as we've gotten older, I see a lot of times where I think it makes it harder for some people to compromise on certain things because, you've been single for so long and you've done got used, maybe settled in how you do things in your way, and, you've got settled in your way. So it just kind of makes it a little hard The communication I have found is not there with a lot of people. Some men are not able to express their feelings. And I don't look down, on men who do, but some men are looked at as weak. They think it is, they're weak if they express themselves.
Gotcha.
And a lot of women look for a man that's, open to do that, but a lot of men don't do that. I don't do dating sites. Maybe that's just for the younger generation. It's not my thing. You don't know who you getting. I'm still old fashioned when it comes to if I'm meeting someone, I'd rather meet them on my own, or how friends will introduce you to someone.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
how it's been. The things that I've seen since, trying to date older.
Okay. Okay. Uh, right now, anybody tuning in, this is a Strong Perspective podcast, and we've reached halftime, so to speak. And during halftime is on Jaquari Armstrong to bring his segment. And what's the name of your segment today, Jaquari?
Uncle Spoke say. Uncle
Say,
Spoke says.
say it again.
Uncle Spoke says.
Mhm.
Uncle Spoke says, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just I call it that because I've experienced like in my work life I've experienced like many different dynamics on whatever particular job I might be on, and now I'm going through my old head on the spot period. Where people they come to me and they talk to me about things in their personal lives, and they ask me questions about how I've well what I've contributed to my marriage situation to keep it going for so long, how I've maintained pretty much a clean slate at work, and I was telling a couple of guys, you really have to hold yourself to a specific standard. The world has its expectations of you as a man and everything. Okay, but you kind of got to go above and beyond that if you want to be effective. If you want people to remember you and not lump you in with everybody else, because everybody, as far as black men, there's like a standard line that of different points that the world kind of like expects us to meet. And Veronica, you talked about men being vulnerable, and well, all you guys probably said something at one point. I've had some technical difficulties, but I let them know that it's not really like if you want to express something to your mate, it's not really you know to your detriment to show them that you have not necessarily a softer side, but a nurturing side, a caring side, a side that they can trust with their children.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why I asked that question earlier, is because my situation personally, I have a stepdaughter. She's not my biological daughter, but when I uh, when I proposed to her, when I proposed to my wife, I proposed to her. I asked her to be my child, and she accepted. And I wanted her to be included in that, because being a man who is trusted enough to be brought into your house and around your child, and trusted enough to raise that child with you, that's it's a hell of a thing. It's a hell of a thing, and I didn't want to take anything away from it, you know, especially when I've heard about all of the like negative experiences that different men have told me about when they were dealing with their significant other and their stepchild. So I try to prepare myself for all of that, and It was a couple times, quite honestly, when I was informed that I wasn't her dad, and it hurt, but it was a certain, like I said, it was a certain image that I wanted to have in her eyes, and it wasn't an act. It was because I was told that little girls marry their dads, so I wanted to give her the best example of a man that I could possibly give her, so she could, so she would go out and still have fun and everything, but it was certain things that I needed her to zero in on,
Mm-hmm.
and I think she picked pretty well. She picked pretty well. They've been together since high school, and they've had two children, and it was early after we had gotten together. I stopped referring to her as my stepdaughter, and I haven't said that in years, you know, and vice versa. I don't think she's ever called me her stepdad. But just being an adult African American male with a heavy responsibility as far as my work life goes. I found out that there's some things that I can't be a part of because I emphasize that my guys don't be a part of it, because that's what ruined their lives. Like I don't smoke reefer, I don't drink a lot. I'm always present in the moment. You know, paying attention to my interactions. And to me, attentive to being attentive to the person in front of you, the person you're trying to convey your message to, that outweighs whether or not I can go out and chop down a doggone 50-foot oak tree, with my bare hands, and come in and make furniture with it. That's a skill. But being a man and conducting yourself properly is the ultimate skill. And I think that's something that we need to teach our young men. We also need to teach our young women how to be receptive to that. This is not a competition.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite dance hall artists named Capleton, he said, "Music is a mission. It's not a competition." It's the same thing, with life. It's the same thing with us and you. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus or whatever, but they got bridges. They got bridges.
Bring that shit home, dog. Bring that shit home.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You guys are doing great. Remember, if you have anything that you want to further interject or whatever, please, put it in the chat. The chat. I'll be checking the chat. But I got a couple of other things, Keith. When the time arises, man, let me know when I can interject these questions in, man.
Okay, well, you can do it right after this announcement. All right, well, listen. Those who tuning in, this is a Strong Perspective podcast. Basically, what we do here is we speak to everyday people. And that's not minimizing, that's everyday people. Some of us have been celebrities in our lives. And that's for a future episode. And I'm talking about everybody that you see on the screen. Because really and truly, we promote dialogue between people who make this world go, the glue, the gears, and make it go. We have our celebrities, the people we look up to, and we do all these things. But really and truly, everyday people make it possible. They make this world possible to move. Okay? Now, do us a favor. I should have said this in the beginning. If you're new to our podcast, go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. Because we got great content. We got greater people in our content. Listen to what people have to say, because it may touch you. Okay? Jaquari, it's on you.
All right, just real quick. I don't want to take up too much time. All right. You guys probably grew up, playing house, right? Whereas there really is no game for little boys to to play up and learn how to be a husband.
Hide and
You
go
know,
get it.
wow. Well, I wasn't invited to play that, so yeah, yeah. I don't know about that. Is I mean is do you think that there's like a disconnect in between the way we raise our our uh, our daughters to take up so much responsibility, but when it comes to our sons, we pretty much have a laissez-faire attitude. There's not a lot of I mean, well, yeah, just that's the question. That's the question.
It's a good question too. Do you guys need him to really bring it home so you can understand more, or do you understand what he's saying?
What was the question?
Do you think that there's a do you think that there's a gap between the responsibility that we raise our girls to expect to have
Versus the mm,
versus the responsibility that we raise our boys just expect to have?
for me, no. I mean, I think, do I think girls are raised different from boys? Yeah, I do. Um, but was I tougher on my son? Probably a lot. Um, am I a little lenient to my daughter? Mm, yeah. But do I
Wow.
still teach her the 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 fundamentals of how to carry herself? Absolutely. Do I, have I taught to my son on how he should carry himself, and have my husband did the same? Absolutely. But unfortunately, girls and boys are like, my daughter is just, she's mine. Like, she literally, like, my son, no, my son too, because he couldn't do a whole lot either. Like, if want to go stay at somebody's house and stuff, like, yeah, no, so no, you can stay home with me.
Well,
So
Yeah, I think there is a difference, and for me, it's not intentional. When you think about, raising a girl as a single mom, it was always,
mm,
you have to go out and you have to do all of these things. And all those things might be taking care of the home, going to work, cleaning and all those things. So yes, the girls were the ones that were doing all the cleaning, and the boys were usually outside playing. And when you go talk about just growing up with the boys, not having any games, but they had cops and robbers. And when you think about the cops and the robbers, that's what I think about. We always telling our boys to be tough, be tough, be tough. And
mhm.
we're telling these things. And being a woman, I don't really know how to tell him or how to show him how to be tough, be tough. So you kind of rely on the men around him to try to show them some of those things. And that's where, and I see someone saying in the chats that as a woman we can't teach some of those things. So like I said, I just kind of relied on my uncles and my cousins to help me, and also my son's dad to help me with those manly things. And my daughter would say that I let my son get away with a lot more, but I don't think that I did. I just didn't know how to raise him in the way that a man would raise him. So it was like, okay, he's gonna get it. He's gonna get it, and hopefully he'll get it from the positive men around him. But with my daughter, yes, like what my mom did, raised you to be a strong woman. You go out, you go do all of these things, and you're a little tougher because one day, if you have children or if you find yourself alone, you're gonna have these skills to be able to survive and be okay. Yeah.
yeah, great point. For real.
Mhm.
Monica?
I would say for me, a lot of how I did things with my daughter, with things that needed to be done around the house, was a lot like how we were brought up. Um, my mother had us washing dishes, um, cleaning every Saturday, dusting, couldn't go nowhere till you clean, folded clothes, put them up, hanging out clothes, bringing in clothes. You know, the most I've seen my brothers and them do was probably maybe cut grass. And that's it. They didn't have to fold, they didn't have to wash dishes. You know, they didn't have to do those things. Um, and those are things that I showed my daughter as she was growing up. But I would say she said I'm not as hard on my son as I was on her. And I know a lot of that has to do with when you're a single parent, you try to compensate for the absent parent, you know. But at the same time, I do um, try to stay on him about, cleaning, separating his laundry, keeping his room clean, doing his bathroom. And I don't know if it was just because she's a girl, she didn't have an issue with cleaning. But with him being a boy, yeah, I'm telling him to do it, but it's like I gotta be on it just a little bit more because, I guess I don't know if it's just a boy thing. He lazy, don't want to do it. He's going through this phase of like what's wrong with the room with the way it is. It could be a mess, but to him, it's like I don't see nothing wrong. So, I have to fuss a little more with him, but at the same time, I probably don't take away and enforce probably as hard as I probably would have done with her. But I mean it is a little different, and being that he's the only one here with me, so it's like, it's my baby at the same time.
Monica.
I I think boys and girls are raised different. I have not had the pleasure of raising a girl, and that might be God's plan. Thank you. But with the boys, I know that I've always stood in that I'm going to raise my boys to be able to, when they leave my house, to be able to do things because I don't want them to end up marrying somebody. And then that woman be like, okay, what did your mama have you doing? Nothing, So I can, and mostly when my boys were in middle school is when I started them doing their own laundry. And how it started was kind of my oldest son, he had these particular clothes he wanted to wear. And if he wore them during the week, he was like, Mom, I need you to wash this. And I'm like, that went on maybe for a few weeks. And then I was like, ooh, let me show you something. And I showed him in middle school how to do his laundry. And he's been doing it himself. And now I did it to my younger kids too, because they always wanted this particular shorts and all this wash because I got basketball and this. And I'm like, okay, let me show you how to do it. So I'm always telling them now, even the ones that live with us now, that I'm not telling you to do these things that I'm telling you to do just because I want to be the boss and tell you what to do. I'm trying to prepare you to be a man in your household and not just let your potential wife or mate do everything. You've got to contribute too. Because I just never wanted them to feel like if you are out on your own, then these are the things that you will have to do once you are on your own. And so when you get with someone or have a partner or a mate, y'all can do this thing together. And I'm waiting on that granddaughter to come along so I can show her some things.
Look at you. Now, there's a couple things I want to address before we go on. I have a quote for you. And I want you, what I'm going to do, I'm going to read the quote, and then Keith Barnes is feeling, I don't know if y'all looking at these quotes, but he's feeling a lot about the way he was brought up. I'm going to put him on the screen, and I want you guys to give me your opinion about it. But first, give me your opinion about this quote, okay? It says, I saw this on social media. He said, most people marry for love. when you should really be marrying for the everyday. Tell me what you think about that. Now, before you do, I'll give you my opinion about it. Why it struck me is because the everyday dominates love, in my opinion. It dominates love. Seeing and living with that person every single day, ups and downs, sideways and backwards, every single day. You marry them for the everyday. I thought that was profound. Now, guys, you can give me your opinion about it.
It sounds kind of transactional to me, man.
How?
Read it again.
It says that most people, what they do is they marry people for love. But what they should do, in this person's opinion, what they should do is marry for the everyday. That's not transactional to me.
It sounds like an escape hatch for me.
How? Tell me how.
Oh
Because
man,
if it's the everyday, if it's the everyday, that means that you are actually looking at that person right across from you and
I get
taking
that.
But it's
everything.
the love that keeps you there for the
Yeah,
everyday.
But the
and
I'm not
but the
dealing with
love,
nobody
but the
something needs
on
to
that
love.
spark it.
level I
Hold
don't
on,
love.
hold on. See, look,
It is.
don't misunderstand me now. I'm not
Okay.
excluding the love. The love is what gets you to that person. But is it that makes you stay, or is it the everyday that makes you stay? Y'all understand where I'm coming from now? Now you don't have to agree with me, but I just want you to understand what I'm saying.
I could see that being a good example. And the reason I say that is because I have a someone that from my past that they was a good person. They had their faults. And to this day, we're friends. I still have love for him, but I wouldn't want to be with him for the every day. And being in a place, being older now and have experienced, things, I would say, it's just going to be more than just me loving a person. It's got to be, can I deal with this person every day? You know, Dealing with their faults, their shortcomings, their weaknesses. You know,
But as
what
if
is it
they,
about them that I don't want to live without? You know,
but the marriage vows say specific things. I mean, and not saying
Yeah.
that your situation was close to marriage. I mean, but the vows say through sickness and health, through better or worse.
Well, that's
that's part of the.
translated to the
That's
everyday, though, dog. Right?
hmm
I know,
That's
but
part.
there's something that needed to spark that situation. I mean,
No,
people take love for granted, man. People take it
that's
for
real.
granted.
You're
Like it's
real. I
not
agree. I agree.
it's supposed to have little birds and flowers floating around your head all the time. No, the hard times are full of lessons, and the good times are good times. It's all they are.
Hmm.
That's real. But
So let me
understand.
ask y'all a question. Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Do you think being in do you think there's a difference of loving someone and being in love with them?
Yes.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
In love is the first stage. Loving somebody is future,
Hmm.
present, future. It goes on. Love goes on.
Yeah. I made many mistakes before,
That's
and
what's up.
sometimes I don't know what to do.
That's real. That's real. All right. Well,
And like your brother said, like Spoke said, you know, the vows, yes, sickness and in health, for rich or for poor. Those things are everyday things because if there are certain things, you can still love a person, and
Hmm.
there are things that they're not gonna do to make you happy or
that's
make
real.
you feel special, but you can still have love for them.
Yeah.
Right.
And I still call her my sister-in-law. You know, she just did her last round of chemo. And when the love that her husband shows for her, when I say that's the everyday things that they have gone through, not just, her dealing with cancer, financial things that they've gone through, different things with children, that he's loved her for the everyday, a situation that I've seen with them firsthand. So it's not just, some people can love you and then as soon as it get bad, oh, I'm out the door. But that still doesn't say that they don't love you. They just may not be strong enough to withstand certain everyday things. So I do agree with that statement because you can love a person, but you got to be able to withstand that sickness and health, rich or for poor, and that's everyday stuff.
Understood.
Anybody else?
No, I agree.
I
Can
think,
I?
man, when you talk about, go ahead, bro.
No. Please, man. I want to hear from you because you know. Go.
I think when you talk about marriage vows, man, you're talking about a binding contract with God and all that stuff, right? But when you think about it a little deeper than that, personal responsibility. You can go into a marriage, man, with an understanding that this person can support me and I can have a great life. You know what I'm saying? And that's that's your underlying agenda. But by the same token, if you go into a marriage, man, and you commit to that marriage with the understanding that this is the person that I like because I understand that person. You know what I'm saying? And whatever comes, I'm willing to go through it with that person because I love them. You know what I'm saying? They show or they gave me something that made me feel whole about myself in terms of my insecurities that, you know what? That's not a threat to my insecurities. And I'm willing to commit to that person because they gave me an understanding that they gave me their whole self, who they are, the good, bad, and whatever. And they understand mine. You know what I'm saying? And before the marriage contract even came into play, you understand it about that person. You know what I'm saying? And as soon as you go before that preacher and you get married and then things change because you have this idea of what marriage is, but not understanding that person you going into that marriage with, it's a contradiction. It's a contradiction. Because the one thing that you should not lose in the marriage is yourself.
Ooh,
That's the one thing you should not lose.
say
That's where
that.
most marriages fail.
I'm sorry, brother. Say that one more damn time.
The
Please do.
one thing you should not lose in a marriage is yourself.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? And each person has to be mature enough to understand that that's what you bring in to the table. It's not finances because you can build that. You can build that. Finances, money come and go. We all old enough to understand that. You know what I'm saying? But what don't leave is that trust and that connection you have with the person that you want to grow something with. You know what I'm saying? And you don't enter into that without understanding, okay, you want to go that path. You know what I'm saying? But that don't coincide with my path. It don't make sense to me. I'm not a salesman. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to go out there and sell on that hustle. I'm a grinder. You know what I'm saying? And I know if I work hard every day, I can get what I want. You know what I'm saying? I do that. That's what I bring to it. But if you want to change me and say, hey, man, you need to be more assertive, man, you need to sell yourself more. No, I sold myself to you. You know what I'm saying? We are what's against the world. You know what I'm saying?
That was your greatest sales job right there, boy.
Everything else ain't important because the strongest bond is that man and woman that come together to raise kids to put something out in the world that's gonna make a difference, not only in the world but in their life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's Big John and sister right there, Keith.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's and my thing is sometimes the longer you be with the person that you make that commitment to, sometimes shit get lost in translation. Sometimes people get in their own feelings, and all that says, which is not a bad thing, is that they got lost in their own personal growth. You know what I'm saying? And they come to the conclusion that this ain't working. I need to do more.
Yeah.
But needing to do more is your own personal thing to bring to the table with the person that you're building with. You know what I'm saying? You're not lost in it. You know what I'm saying? You just got stagnated.
That's real. That's real.
You just got stagnated. So,
Man,
you
hold on.
know,
Hey, go ahead and finish, man, because
I'm
I
just
need.
saying, I think people bring stuff inside of a marriage, man, that's outside of who they are. You know what I'm saying? And that's when they try to bring about change in that person. It's like, no, I'm not like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna support you in yours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we just have to figure out what we have to figure out what makes us stronger. Because the true evil in the world is that thing that tries to change you, you know what I'm saying? Your personal self or who you are. That's the evil in the world. It tries to change you. It tries to change that union you came to before you committed to a marriage.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what people get caught up in. They bring in color and they bring in, I need an aggressive guy this and I need an aggressive guy that. If you need an aggressive guy, then why you make a commitment with a guy that's soft spoken and who give you what you want without the drama? Then you start labeling and shit. You know
All right.
what I'm
Well,
saying?
look. All right. Close it on up, brother, because I
Oh
need.
no, I'm just
I know
I'm
what
just
you're doing.
listening. I'm just listening to y'all, man, and I'm just trying to make sure I'm staying on the same page with.
You're doing a good job, ladies. The fact that I know, in my personal opinion, that all four of you young ladies are strong women. So
That's the first thing I noticed.
we're gonna turn this up just a little bit. I'm not gonna put you on the spot, but need to know your opinions about it. All right. This next question, and this is gonna go to you, Tina, first. Did your idea of love change as you grew older?
Ooh, yes, of course it did. I think, the younger me thought I knew love. We were looking for some of we wasn't even thinking about, like I think we talked about yesterday. We weren't thinking about the finance. We weren't thinking about the shelter, the protection, and all of those things that, we think about. That's what's important to us now. So as I got older and learned myself and just learned my all my love languages, what it takes to even love me, is where my thoughts evolved around. Really, who am I, what love means to me, not necessarily what books have said, what other people have said. And I think loving someone kind of, it keeps evolving, because when we talk about changing and how we change as a couple or even a change as a mate, it might be something 5 years ago I was okay with, or you were okay with. But when we want to evolve, it's going to take some of that sustainable love to say, okay, she's a little different now. She's not that same person, or he's a little different now. He don't like the same things. And if you love someone enough to make those changes with them without losing yourself, is where you can benefit, because we all evolve, we all change. Our ideas, our thoughts, our processes all change when we get older and we see things a little clearer, a little bit more, I would say, beneficial. It's not that superficial things that we thought about in the past, that thought that was going to sustain us. That love that we talk about, that's going to sustain us. When, yeah, it will. It's going to be that pushing
Mhm.
force behind all those other things that are important to your relationship.
Okay.
That was heavy, cuz. Yeah.
Janine,
Mm.
Because you set up. You set up like you wanted to answer.
Yes, I'm
So,
set.
No, no, I do agree with I think the biggest part for me, it as I got older, I am I am very hard headed. I hate to admit sometimes, and sometimes when my husband is right and I know he's right, I kind of get this look like, oh, but um over time, we both changed. But kind of changed for the better. You know, one thing about us, we had to, it wasn't no red roses. I'm pretty sure for every marriage it's not all red roses, but what is it worth fighting for? And for us, yeah. Um, did I change? I did. I mean, because my thought process wasn't. My husband has one thought process, and I have another, and when you have two strong individual, sometimes bumping heads, but eventually I will always have to take a step back and be like, try to unravel his process of how he was handling things, or if how he's saying things. And sometimes I feel like he's would come at me. So it's it's kind of like a balance, you know, like a balance beam. And as I got older, I just, some things is not. I'm not gonna say not as important, but it's it's okay to take a step back without reacting. Now I try to think about before I react. I'm normally a react. I'm very quick. Um, my comeback is very strong, but I'm still that way though. So I'm not even gonna act like I'm not. But at the same time, I do think the age I am right now, I'm still learning. But at the same time, it's that that love is still kind of, it's still strong. You know what I'm saying? So as you said, every day it is every day.
hey, look, hey, Janine, it's okay to let that love just flow out. You know what I mean? You grab it
Oh,
a
I'm a
little
very
bit.
loving and affection. I
No,
am.
no,
I'm
no,
the.
no. I'm not saying that. I'm not
You
saying
Oh,
know,
that. Look,
hey,
we need you to hear. We need him to hear it. You understand what I'm saying to you?
hey, you know
Because
what's crazy?
sometimes you think we assume, but sometimes we need to hear it. That's all. Go ahead, Fluke.
I got you.
Here's what's crazy to me, man. I appreciate the question, man, but the thing that's funny to me is that if you reveal your whole self to somebody, you know what I'm saying, you feel safe and secure enough to do that, and you reveal your whole self to them, are you willing to accept their honesty? You know what I'm saying? When they check you on your bullshit, you feel what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Do
yeah,
that
yeah.
do that diminish the love you have for them if
Mm-mm,
they checking you?
mm-mm,
Okay.
Especially if you feel like uh, uh, they have your best interest in hand.
mm-hmm.
You know what
I
I'm saying?
got
Because we're not infallible. You know what I'm saying? We all got feelings, our own personal stuff. You know what I'm saying? And who gonna touch you deeply and wound you more than the person that you claim to love? You know what I'm saying? Because they
Right.
know all the intimate things about you, right?
All right.
Out of anger, people say shit. You know what I'm saying? But in love, there's forgiveness too, right?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, look, Veronica is on you.
I would say how I saw love younger, um, different, because it was so easy to always just point the finger at someone else what they don't do. He don't love me. He ain't doing X, Y, Z. Versus now being older, I can take more. accountability for my own actions, accountability for what I allow, accountability for what I say and do. Um, so I know that's a part um, of how I see love now, accepting someone for who they are. And like I said, taking accountability of choosing to accept or not accept some of those things.
Okay. Okay. Monica.
I have to say, when I was younger, the love that my husband and I have now, I didn't see that it being that deep then back then. It has evolved over the years where, I really don't. In the beginning, I think I sweated the small stuff. I sweated everything. Now the small stuff doesn't even matter. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that that has evolved over the years that we've been together. But also, I think, not to really harp on this, I think COVID and all the things that happened during COVID and the lives that were lost and all the
Mm-hmm.
stuff that happened, you just, I mean, that little stuff, I don't even care anymore. You can leave them clothes right there on the floor. I'm not even gonna care anymore. That, that used to just irk me so bad, but now I don't care. I'm not picking them up though, but you can leave them there. So this love now, I mean, I don't know. It's the love that we had when we first got together. It was the love and the lust too, all that together. But after that, it's like we're building this thing. This is our family that we're building together. And it's like, I've never really said this, but the family that we build together, we're also creating a legacy that we're building. We're passing it on to our kids. Hopefully, our kids will pass it on to their kids. And it's all about family and keeping this together, and, um, knowing that we're going to put God first, you know, um, but I like how we have evolved. Now, in our 20s, when we got together in our mid 20s, it was, we were going here, going there, and the love was different. I loved him. But as time has grown on and the love gets deeper, and you are building this thing together, and when our kids were younger, and we were going here and then going there, and now our kids are older. Now it's me and him, and there are things that we're gonna do. We getting ready to burn the road up somewhere. We've done the right by our kids and raised them, and now they always gonna hit us up for something. But um, this love is gonna take us to the sunset.
No doubt. No doubt. All right. Well, look, Corey,
Hmm.
I want you to give us a minute or two on how y'all feel about the question I just asked. Did your idea of love change as you got older?
It definitely did, man. My idea of love was, it was the birds and flowers floating around my head or whatever. I brought, my desire and infatuation and fondness for my wife into the marriage, but I didn't consider her rainy days, you know. And the biggest mistake that I made in the beginning was thinking that I could solve those.
Mm.
You know,
Hmm.
it, it took me a long time to realize that, my wife can't be my mate and my therapist at the same time. I know that's the fantasy, you know, but if there's an issue in the house and, there's a stalemate, sometimes a third party can come in and kind of shine a light on places where light needs to be shined. My notion of love, man, it's like, can you can you sit next to that hospital bed, and watch your best friend, go through what she's going through and recover? Can you get her through the recovery process? Can you are you man enough to sit down and talk to your daughter when she comes home crying about being excluded? Are you man enough to tell her the real truth about the world?
Mm.
You know, you had I've never been as naked in my life as I have been in times, dealing with the people in my household, you know, and those are some of the hardest times in the world. I mean, but what they say, iron sharpens steel,
It's real.
you know, and you truly learn when you get past difficult times. You truly learn, Now whether you repeat those same mistakes, you know, uh, it it'll happen. But if you don't navigate through them a little easier next time, somewhere you drop the ball. But in some conditions, love can be perfect. You know,
Okay,
in some conditions, love can be perfect. When I consider the things that my wife has added to my life.
that's real. Hey, Fluke,
What's
you
up?
got you got to speak on it strong at the end. So give us a couple, give us a good minute on answering this question. Did your idea of love change as you got older?
No, not for me, because I understood why I fell in love with my wife, man. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she might have, maybe situations change. You know what I'm saying? In the marriage, things change, man. In relationships, I want to keep talking about marriages, but in all relationships, sometimes things change, man, and people get different views. You know what I'm saying? It's okay if you outgrow somebody, man. You know what I'm saying? If you bring in your true self to a relationship and it don't work, it's okay. Nobody lost in that situation. You know what I'm saying? If you being your true self and you commit to your true self in a relationship, who loses, man? If it don't work out, if you're being honest, I don't think anybody really does, unless you know what I'm saying, unless you just can't get over the time spent or invested. You know what I'm saying? But as far as loving my wife, man, I knew what I fell in love with, and it just is. I mean, she has, she's still the same person. You know what I'm saying? She still give me those things that she gave me to make me fall in love with her. You know what I'm saying? It's just everyday life, man, that changes things, man.
Oh,
Finances, losses, or whatever. I mean, you'd be surprised at things that change you. A death of a person might change your perspective about life. But if that person is supporting you through that death, doesn't change how you feel about that person. That just makes the bond stronger.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And it makes you appreciate it because they didn't abandon you in it. You know what I'm saying? And they knew how to support you because they know you. Because
Mm-hmm.
you revealed your true self to them.
okay. Okay. Well, look, this is the only question I'm gonna answer tonight, and I say this in all earnest and all honesty. Um, the love that I give to my wife is genuine. It's what it is. I give that to her because I've always understood what kind of person I've always been. Now, there's other things, small things that I have no clue about that might make my life easier. But when it comes to giving affection to somebody that you care about, I've never faltered in that because I was taught that by my mother and father. If you love somebody, you show them that you love them and you understand why you love them. I'm going to repeat that back to you. You understand why you love them because it's not enough to say, oh man, I love you. And you may feel it, right? This is every relationship. But to understand why, that is real. Because you know why? When you do that kind of thing, you know what you end up doing? You end up understanding who you are. Because what's so crazy about it, the more you know about who you are as a human being, the better you can love. All right, now, I have four strong women on this platform. And we went through this last night. Now, I'm going to give you guys 2 to 3 minutes in your response. So y'all had time to really marinate on this thing. And if I'm going to remind you what it is, I'm going to read it off my joint so y'all know exactly where I'm coming from, right? Okay. What is your opinion about submissiveness in your relationship? Right? Now, here's the little point. Here's the little part to that. What is your opinion about it, and what do you think it is?
Okay.
Who want to tackle it first?
She
I'll
turned the camera off.
That's what she think of it.
For me, submissiveness can bring about anything that you and your relationship want to have. I don't think that we should have it in a box. It can mean different things to different people, and I think it needs to be defined between those two people. Um, Society has not done the word any justice because growing up people are saying I'm the man and you're gonna do what I say, do get in that house and clean up. And of
Hmm.
course that has evolved. That's in the head of a lot of women, that is not what they want to do. Don't You can't tell me that's what we get about ready to do here. So um but now that I'm older and I have explored it more, and or also to try to be a better person, to be a better mate, is it's something that's defined by you two. It can be the traditional things of the house cleaning and the protection for the men, and the taking care of the family for the woman, but it also can mean other things. And I think, like I said, it's just defined by the couple.
Okay. Okay. Janine.
I just I, people done tore this word up so many times. It's
Mm.
To me, it's just loyal. I am loyal to my husband. I am loyal to my family. My family come first. This household come first, no matter what. And that's it. It's loyalty. So it's not so much. You have people like you said. The world done turned that word to where people is to make it feel like somebody's trying to control you, and you do have some people that try to do that. So, but to me, it's just me and my husband being loyal to each other, respecting each other.
Okay. Veronica.
I would say to me, submissiveness is not is not a control thing. Like she said, a lot of people now think it's about trying to control um the other person. Well, the man trying to control the woman, I would say. But I see it as men leading their household spiritually, um, and making sure and providing for the household, and a woman respecting her husband, and also with him respecting her. It's not about because I said so and that's it. Just respecting one another's opinions, views when it comes to running the household
Okay.
and taking care of the kids. Um, making financial decisions, just respecting one another and not just one person making all decisions for everything.
Okay. Okay. Monica.
I think that, as Tina and Janine said, that I think society has made submissiveness such a negative term. Um, and I think that, as Tina said, that I think the submissiveness in a relationship is determined by those two people. I mean, they need to decide, or determine, um, or you determine yourself what your level of submissiveness will be and what it is in that relationship. I think too many people have confused, submissiveness, I think, is voluntary. These are things that you are willing to do. I think it should be voluntary versus control of somebody telling you what you're going to do. Just my opinion.
Okay. Okay. Jaquar.
Yeah, to me, submission doesn't mean dominance. It means that no matter how strongly you feel about a thing, the space and time that you take to discuss the compromise, that's where the submission comes in. You know, we both submit to each other.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Every one of you guys, great, great answer. Uh, Damon, what we're going to do
Um,
is, hold on, answer your question, and then what we're
I
going to
think
do, you're going to go,
go ahead.
you're going to go into speak on the strong.
What?
So we get,
What?
okay?
What's
I
up?
put that up there for a reason. Now, I'm not a Bible person, so I'm not sure.
Well,
Can somebody,
listen, I'm gonna
hold,
give the
hold, hold,
definite.
Fluke, hold on for 1 second. Can anybody tell me exactly what this is right here? Ephesians. I'm not versed on the Bible.
Ephesians what?
5
5 and
22 through
22.
24.
Tell Bill that we answered it the way we wanted to answer.
You trying to stop? You trying
He
to
wanted
stoke
us
the
to go
fire?
to the Bible. Now we
Mm.
the
We
Bible
ain't about
Hey,
to.
said.
hey, 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 hey,
Hey,
Derek,
hey, Bill. At
Derek,
least I
you
ain't do that.
understand?
I went to the
Derek,
dictionary.
Derek, you understand where they coming from right now?
Head of the wife as Christ is head of the church. I see. Mm-hmm.
Hey, he got a point, but how you guys answer is on par with what he's saying. You understand what I'm saying to you? So
Right, because what if
we
it's a
could,
person that wasn't raised in the church?
yeah,
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mm.
I mean, even though people, I mean, it's a lot of people that get married and a lot of people that's not raised in the church.
yeah.
Yes.
So, what if it's a person that wasn't raised in the church? You could put that up all you want, but if their perception of that word is is their perception, it's their perception. It is what it is.
Hmm.
Luke, I'm sorry to interrupt you, man, but that came in hot off the wire, man. I had to put it up there. You know what I mean?
Here's
Well,
the
he
question.
stopped before it got to 25 because it also says, husband, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for
She
her.
looked it up.
So,
That's
That's
right.
what I'm
I,
talking about.
so
She
don't
looked it
don't
up.
don't bring up part of the story. Bring up the whole thing now. Don't just bring up what works for you.
That
that
The
part.
whole
part.
thing.
Well, I didn't go to the Bible because the word submissive. I understand words by their definition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real. That's
And
real.
when you look at it on a patriarchal level, that's the Bible and all that stuff. I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying I looked it up in the dictionary and it says ready to conform to the authority or will of others, meekly obedient or passive. That's the definition of submissive. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I don't think, and I'm not pandering to the women. You know what I'm saying? I don't think in this world that we live in that either one of us should succumb to that word, submissive. You know what I'm saying? Because that speaks to our history. You know what I'm saying? And when you thinking about your strength, not dominance, but your strength. Dominance is about having somebody being submissive to you.
Hold the hell up, man. I'm sorry. That was fucking fantastic, man. Carry on.
You know, we as black people should never succumb to that word, man, or use it when it comes to each other. You know what I'm saying? You know, in terms of defining it in our relationships, we should never do that because that's what the world does to us. You know what I'm saying? We live in a country that wants us to be submissive. You know, so my thing is, I don't allow. You know, I look at words, you know, for that true definition, and I don't try to define it and make it fit in my life. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my personal view. You know, you can bring up Bible verses and talk about slavery. You feel what I'm saying? None of us agrees with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I think what he was trying to do was really just chime in to what you ladies was talking about. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he was disagreeing with you, but
Right.
Just,
I don't disagree with that, man. That's just I don't disagree with him. I'm just saying for my own personal
that's how he
shit.
feels.
That's
how
his
he feels.
perspective.
Yeah,
That's real. That's real.
That's his perspective.
Because
Yeah.
we're all about perspectives here, man.
absolutely.
All right, take us on home, man. Speak on it strong. Talk to us.
The one thing, man, that I kept in mind, you know, just listening to y'all, because there's times when I talk too damn much, and my wife will let me know when I come upstairs. So I'm gonna speak on my humility, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna speak on my humility. My humility dictates that I figure out what's wrong with me first. You understand what I'm saying? I figure out what's wrong with me first. The things that I do. Am I being dominant? Am I being overbearing? Am I being being that? If I am, then I need to know that about myself. You know what I'm saying? And if I choose to be headstrong, bullheaded, or whatever, and I don't know that about myself, there's going to be contention between the relationship. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm bringing my strong self with my humility to the situation, nobody can tell me what's wrong with me because I'm seeing it for myself and I'm paying attention to it. You know what I'm saying? Even if I have to find out or figure it out through prayer or whatever, I come to the conclusion. You know what I'm saying? But either way, if my wife says to me, man, you were overbearing or you were wrong in that situation, I have to admit, was I standing up? Was I being aggressive? Was I putting my foot down? I'm wrong. If I say she wrong, with recognizing that in me. You know what I'm saying? So I have to be humble within myself. You know what I'm saying? That said, I have a question. You know, in terms of relationships, why do we see or make things so difficult to pick up cues? Why we don't pick up cues with our mates when they putting it out subliminally or just saying it out? Why we don't pick those cues up? Hey man, I need this more in you. You ain't getting it. You know what I'm saying? That says if you are paying attention to it and you working on that, that makes that other person say, well, at least they respect what I'm saying to them. You know what I'm saying? This is what I need. You know what I'm saying? This is a suggestion I'm saying to you to make me feel better about what we doing or what we going through. Do we pick those cues up or do we stand on our own personal shit? That's just me being humble. I choose to pay attention to the cues, man. If I want to sleep at night. You feel what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Last question. Do we find safety and security in talking about our insecurities with our mate? You know what I'm saying? Are we comfortable with talking with our mates about our insecurities or something we might feel insecure about that they might be doing or what the world is showing us. You know what I'm saying? It's all about sharing, isn't it? Hey, I just experienced this out in the world, and you bring it to your mate. Do you feel comfortable telling them, hey, this is what happened to me, and it made me feel this way? Do you trust your mate that much to reveal that side of you, that insecurity? You know what I'm saying? Because your woman damn sure gonna bring it up to you. Hey, look, they they,
No,
they see those cues, man.
hey, Fluke,
Hold on.
are you asking everybody these questions, or
You
just
know,
me?
those are questions. But what I'm saying is, I can't hide anything from my woman. She see when I'm going through something.
I'm low key a private investigator, so nothing's hidden over here either.
Okay, okay.
But that's just me trying to be involved in the conversation. So
All right. Well, look, you said some things that I wanted to explore, but we an hour and 41 minutes into this situation.
who you talking about? Me?
Yeah,
Oh,
you threw the
It
question.
sounds like you're gonna have a part two.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, look.
We kind of have to because I have some stuff that I really wanted to shoot in there on you guys, and just to get your take on it. So please come back.
Oh, absolutely.
And then that's the thing is, once you come on, you're always invited to come on. If you come up with a subject, ladies, that you want to address, let me know. Let me know, and we're gonna make it happen. Because, like I said, this is the
Absolutely.
strong perspective. Even though we're Armstrong men. That's who we are. We was raised to be that. We're straight up men, and I don't want to overstate that because you don't just say it, you live it.
Hmm.
And I know that's what I do, and I know that's what my brothers do. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So if you need to come back on, ladies, let us know because this is real. I want to thank Keith Barnes, Derek Hill, my little niece, Danita Ellis, Alicia, thank you. Bill
oh
Burnett,
Lord.
sister-in-law, Benita, love y'all. You know what I'm saying? Great
Love y'all.
questions.
Love
Aunt
y'all to death.
Jeannie, love you to death. Kwame, good looking out. And Janine, Marcus is looking. So straighten up and tighten up, damn it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Uh,
Hey Keith.
yeah.
Before we end, man, I want the ladies to ruminate on this statement. Okay, I mean you don't necessarily have to answer it, but just keep it fresh. Try to keep it fresh in your mind for the next time you come. Okay, like as the modern world advances, the opportunities to teach boys man stuff kind of dwindled. We don't hunt, we don't fish, we don't build fires, etc. Any skills that were male heavy were or required a boy to learn through his hands became obsolete.
Okay. Now,
Everything you name, I don't do. So
hold on.
No,
None, not one.
I'm talking about in regards to fathers teaching their
oh,
sons.
oh,
Okay,
oh,
okay.
okay. Oh,
Let
okay.
me let me
I'm
pick
sorry.
it back. Let me
My
pick
bad.
it back on spoke real quick. Then, ladies, I want y'all to answer it because this is a great damn question. I had a friend, a female friend. She always told me that's man's work. She always said this shit. Taking garbage out, that's man's work. You know what I mean? Where everything is prioritized, right? We didn't grow up in a household that's prioritized. You know what I'm saying? Because I told you ladies last night, my mother and my grandmother taught us how to take care of ourselves when we was out in the world. You know what I mean? So to piggyback off Jaquari's question and just a quick answer, um, what are the things that you see lacking in our young men now that you saw growing up with people, your brothers, your cousins, and everybody else that they were expected to do?
They getting less butt whoopings. These kids, this generation, they
You
need
said
their
fuck
ass
whooping?
whooped.
Okay,
They need their ass whooped.
I like that. Anybody else?
I
Um,
think they lack the motivation and the drive to go out there and get it for themselves because they're so used to people giving it to them. So when you talk about like skill trades and just different things that are learned, mechanic and just the different hands-on things, they're not getting it because, oh, I'm not doing that. That's too hard. Oh no, I don't have to do that. My mama gonna take care of this. I don't. So I think that's why we're losing a lot of um men, a lot of in that categories, a lot of them don't know how to do anything. I feel sorry for,
Right.
their future life because they don't know even the basic skills, let alone to want to go out there and find a decent job to take care of their families because they don't want to work hard. They don't
mhm.
want they got
I
a
agree.
window of time, 2 to 3 hours. If you got 2 to 3 hours, how you gonna make money out of 2 to 3 hours?
That's real.
So
That's real.
yes.
Anybody else?
Like she said, a lot of young men don't have any type of work ethic. It's always a hustle, quick way to just make a
Quick
little
money.
bit of money.
Wow.
Just if I do YouTube, if I do little TikTok stuff, little
Everybody's
things,
not a rapper.
and then and then people trying to be rap, they try to find the little quick ways of making money. My son play basketball. He want to be an NBA. Okay, what if you don't make it to the NBA? What is something else that you want to do besides that? Is it a trade that you want? What do you aspire to be? So now, and COVID had a lot to do with it because people couldn't work. They was finding ways to, hustle. And so a lot of now the younger generation, they just look to how to make this quick money, instead of,
Hmm.
well, if this don't work, I gotta actually work, to make it. But they don't see, nobody really trying to work, and they don't have no motivation to do.
And I don't think they understand that you're young right now. You are, if you live long enough, you will get older. And are you going to be working till you 85? I mean, there's retirement. And I know these young kids are not thinking that, but I try to talk to my kids about that. Like, you making this money right now, but you got to think about the long money, not just
Right.
the here and now money. And they don't think that way.
No, because they just say that they only live once.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's it. And they want to do it all in they 2 or 3 years of life that they just
Yeah.
been on this planet and thinking that this is the place that this going to be
Mm-hmm.
forever.
Yeah. My point was, back in the days, a man had to chop down trees to build a house. A man had to
Hmm.
till the soil to grow the food. A man had to hunt the land to feed his family. Those skills are no longer taught, as opposed to, when we rear our daughters, we're still teaching them how to take care of a household. That's what a disconnect is.
Yeah.
What you mean?
Well, our dad taught us. I know we were changing oil. We're from the country, so we were changing oil and changing tires, and we
Hmm.
we did a lot of the manly things that weren't technically really taught to the girls. But my dad wanted to make sure that if we ever had a flat tire where we were living, we could change it. Now I can change a tire, but am I? No, no.
No.
But
No.
I've got that
That's what you got them
skill.
strong boys for.
Exactly.
All right. Let's to me. Go ahead and then squeeze in here real quick. Did you answer already?
Oh, as far as I mean, no, I agree with all of them. And the thing is that this this entitlement that some of these kids feel that they have is kind of sad. But I definitely agree with everybody trying to get quick money,
Yeah.
and sometimes that quick money is for that right now, quick. It doesn't last. So you're right. They don't. A lot of them, you know, they look at social media and look and see how somebody is doing it, and a lot of these kids think that they can do it too. Like you said, everybody trying to be a rapper. I'm not sure why, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, it's a blessing. Social media is a blessing and a curse.
in a
Yeah.
curse, it is.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, um, last thing of Winnell.
I like that. I like what she
This is a
said.
hell of a joint. I just wanted to
Yes.
put it up there and let you guys see it. I
Well,
mean,
I have had conversations with um, different people that have come into my office, and it's true. Everyone's not made to go to college. And I had a neighbor that lived in our old neighborhood, lived right beside us. He didn't go to college. He got a trade as a welder, 6 figures.
yeah,
He's making 6 figures. I mean, I know a plumber that's making 6 figures. So, I mean, everybody's not meant to go to college, and telling our kids that they are, two of them are in going to Wake Tech, but you know, like she said, we shouldn't push that to the kids if we know that's not, if
Right.
that's not their thing, because that
Mm-hmm.
would be
I
a
agree.
huge waste of money.
I agree.
I got you. All right, well, look, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
thank you for your comments. Ladies, thank
Thank
you for
you.
coming on.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank
Every
you.
you.
single one of you did a great job. Jaquari, Damon,
I agree.
phenomenal, phenomenal job. Um, this is Strong Perspective Podcast. Please go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. You don't have to look, spend 30 seconds on there, just push that like button, that subscribe button, and that's all we need you to do because we want to reach everyone. This is a conversation for everyday people. We talk about what's important. Not saying that, entertainers are not talking about what's important. Has nothing to do with that, but we don't know them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. They shine for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
We shine because of the content that we give.
Right.
Ladies, you did a phenomenal job, and you are definitely welcome to come back on. And stay on. When we come out of live, we're going to talk for about 5 minutes. Then we're going to break out of here. But any last words? We're going to go around the horn. Veronica, we're going to start with you. Then Monica. Then Janine, Gentina, Luke, and Damon. Veronica, it's on you. Last word.
Um, I would say I've enjoyed tonight. I would love to do this again. More topics, like Janine said, there probably should be a part two to this before you do the men side of things. But I've enjoyed interacting with every one of you. I've enjoyed meeting your brothers, and like to do this again sometime.
Okay. Monica.
It's a wonderful thing. I think that it's been great listening to other opinions about things. I really do think there should be a part two, because we got a lot to say.
Hmm.
Yeah. Got it. Got it. Janine.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, y'all doing a really good job. I love the whole concept. I'm always tuning in, checking in to see what y'all topic is. So I appreciate y'all. Let me know if we do a part two. I would love to do it with these ladies. I was so good to meet every one of y'all. Um,
Same.
Okay.
I already met the
Tina.
brothers.
No doubt. Tina.
Yeah, I also enjoyed just the conversation that we all had. I just last night, thinking about it and us getting together last night. I think it kind of helped with today.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing some of you guys' background, which was great. So I would also enjoy a part two. And yeah, and thanks, man, for inviting us on. And as you guys know, like she said, we do have a lot to say. So invite us back, and, and we can share some more of our knowledge and also our growth, just to see where we've all come from, and that we
Hmm.
all on different parts of the world, but we all
Mm-hmm.
have the same motive when it comes to our families. Just being a woman, being an independent woman, being a married woman, just having relationships. So it's a good thing.
Okay. Okay.
Amen.
Flo, real quick.
Hey, I truly enjoyed the conversation. I enjoyed listening. I think I talk too much. I should have listened more. You know what I'm saying? But I'll work on that next time.
No doubt. No doubt.
I'm gonna ask you offline what you laughing at.
No, no, no. No. This is Delphine, Monica's husband.
Oh, that's a husband.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Awful,
Lord.
man.
Oh,
Are
I
you
wasn't
done?
paying. I wasn't paying. Yeah, I'm done, man. I enjoyed this conversation, man.
Jaquar.
Ladies, hey man, you guys kicked ass. I told you last night. I told you, it's it's addictive. It's very addictive,
It is.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm glad you guys got to experience your first podcast experience with us. I hope we were malleable enough for you guys to get your points across and didn't step on you too much. 'Cause,
Absolutely.
we do that sometimes. And I'm looking forward to part two because I have some pretty provocative questions. I mean, I didn't want to touch religion, but I was going to ask you guys, if you were churchgoers, how do you feel about the Bible not really allowing women in the pulpit? But we can save that for next time. You see how I just stepped. You see how I just stepped on your toes and then tried to escape.
I hear
Oh,
part two.
wow.
I just
Boom.
heard part two, part two, part two.
Yeah.
But look, what we're gonna do, we're gonna have a part two, but understand we gotta have the men next Friday. All right.
Because of scheduling. We already asked.
We already did it. Everybody's
Gotcha.
already scheduled. But
That's
pay
fine.
attention, ladies, because what we're gonna do, if you we trying to promote communication amongst us.
Mm-hmm.
Our little small part. Now, if it goes viral, it goes viral. But we're promoting communication because it's not dead. It's just being overshadowed by this craziness in social media.
Yeah.
All right.
Sensationalism.
But look, this is Strong Perspective Podcast. Go like, share, and subscribe at our YouTube channel by the same name. Ladies, thank you for coming on.
Thank you, ladies.
You're welcome. You're
You're
welcome.
welcome.
Veronica, Monica, Janine, Tina, thank you. You are strong, eloquent women, and you represented yourself very, very well. Putting that on tape.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Yep.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
All right, peace out.